skill which involves information given to us outside of ourselves. So, because science has only gone so far with this information, it always means that we would open with an invocation, setting out our intention for the greater good. Okay, so an invocation is like a prayer, an opening prayer. And for those who've done the courses before, you will know we count this as mandatory. It's something that all people who receive information externally of themselves from the energy world, the esoteric, the universe, whatever you want to call it, we always open with an invocation and we always close with an invocation. So, very importantly, when we open, we are setting an intention. Okay, so we could open by saying, I ask that information is given to me for future only. I ask that information is given to me for future only, for the greater good of myself and others. Okay, for the greater good of myself and others. So that covers kind of, and I ask for protection, and that covers protection on the touch that we do with this of working with the esoteric or the energy world, the information giving world around us. That covers us. Okay, and it is very important that as I ask everybody to make a note of that. So I ask that I'm given information for the future only, because we're only dealing with the future with the crystal course. For the greater good of myself and others, I ask for protection. So that is important, because that is a first form of protection that is something that is going to help us and give us some sort of kind of shield with what we're about to do. Hello, are you Sarah? I can see you now. Yeah, good, great stuff. So that's going to give us some sort of shield, okay? Some sort of help to ward off anything that's negative, because there's an old saying, isn't there, that can we get rid of that box as well, Mr. Wilson? Sorry. There's an old saying, isn't there? Like attracts like. So if you're going to do this, you're going to look at your future or somebody else's future. You want the energy world, the information giving world around us, whether that's a spirit, the universe, whether that is any species of form giving us information externally of ourselves. You want them to know that you're doing it for the good. So you don't want anything negative. Okay, so you're not going to be telling people that they're going to die, or they're going to get cancer, or the mum's going to drop off a cliff. Okay, so that's why we open with an invocation, to state clearly what we're doing and what we intend to achieve. Of course, because we open with an invocation, at the end of this evening, we close with an invocation. And that invocation, when we close, is just thanking. I thank the universe, or I thank the energy world around me for working with me. I ask for the protection to be continuous. So you're just saying, thanks very much for what you've done. It's been successful, and if I've been given protection, I want it to be continued. I don't want anything awful or not right to be with me after. And all it's doing again is stating your intention. And remember, when you state your intention, you're always doing it in a good way. Please remember that, okay? I once did this course, only the main course of this. I conducted it once upon a time in Birmingham, and a lady said she was opening up an office and she was charging £100 to give people bad news. So and actually she still does that and makes a fortune. So people, you'd be surprised how many what minds there are out there who want to know bad news as much as good. But no, only good. Everything only good. So that's important. So you should have that in a note, the open invocation and the close invocation. So can everybody just close their eyes first and repeat the opening invocation to yourself so I know that you are covered with that protection, please. The opening invocation, I ask now that I'm given information for the future only. I ask it for the greater good of myself and others, and I ask for protection. Just raise your hand when you've done that. That's all we want from you. Yeah. Fab. Fab. Good. So, what I want to talk about first of all, before we talk about the stones, is as people who are going to look at people's futures, we are given information exterior of ourselves all the time. Okay, so I want you to remember this: the actual beat of the world around us, energy, other people talking, okay, situations, what we see on the TV, information that we read in a book, all the time, in every way, shape, and form, we are given information. Okay, from the information giving world that we live in. So information isn't only like this, me giving you information. All the time you are receiving. You're your own little antennae. You don't realize this. And this is the difference between people who do the job of a seer. All right, that's the common word for you who is looking into the future, a seer. Okay, all right, and very importantly, people who do that, you're geared to know that automatically the world around you is an information giving world. Okay, another word for seer is vidente. Some people call us videntes, people who see. And when we say see, it's a bit like I don't know. It's a bit like a kind of a crazy situation, because you're not talking to the dead particularly. You're not talking about somebody's past. You're just seeing future. So and you're seeing it in usually in little snapshots, or you're giving it in little globules of information. Okay, you sometimes don't realize you're getting those globules of information either. Okay, so I'll just give you I'll just give you a little bit of an understanding of that. Cheryl Jones, can you just unmute, please? Yeah, can you just unmute yourself? Do you know how to unmute, Cheryl? Let's see if we can unmute you. Hello, Cheryl. Sorry, you've muted. Can you unmute again?
Oh, I thought you were asking me to mute.
No, unmute. Hello, Cheryl. Lovely to see you. I just want to do a little experiment with you. Is that all right with you?
That's okay. I thought you were telling me off. I've got a dachshund at the side of me. She's 9 months old. She's begging me for her attention. I'm telling her to go upstairs to bed with my boys. I thought you were about to tell me off.
No, I don't tell people off, Cheryl. Absolutely not. So, Cheryl, what we're going to do is
Yes.
we're going to ask you to concentrate.
Okay.
So, we want you to concentrate in the matter in hand, okay? And I'm
Okay.
just talking to you as a normal, everyday person, Cheryl. And all of a
Okay.
sudden, I want you to just think of something in the future, anything coming up in the future. Don't look at anything,
Okay.
Cheryl. Look at me. You don't have to close your eyes. Just look at me
Okay. Now got it.
and just think of anything coming up in the future.
Okay.
You've got it?
Yes, I have
What
got
is it?
this. Yes,
What is
a
it?
caravan. Caravan.
Okay. What can you see about a caravan, Cheryl?
It's going to give me life. It's going to give me travel. It's going to give me the freedom that I so desire.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Right, just stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Mr. Wilson, can we lend you a minute so you can see everybody? Barry, can I lend you a minute? Just excuse me. Now, are you ready for this, Cheryl?
I very much am ready for this.
Okay, you're
I
the
love this
voice from the
caravan so
gods,
much.
Mr. Wilson.
Hello.
We've had a problem with our. What have we had a problem with? What's on our drive?
Oh, well, I can say which one of many problems. Right, motorhome.
And that's got to
No.
go back. And what's going to happen?
Well, it's being returned, and potentially it may end up sort of being a court battle.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Oh
And
dear.
then we are going to be looking for
A replacement.
to take us round in the future.
Yeah.
Fabulous, thank you. To get it, Cheryl. Now, where's that information come
Yes.
from? Okay, it's all right, you can mute yourself now. Thank you, Cheryl.
Uh,
So that information has come externally from somewhere. Okay, the difference is I have plummeted Cheryl. I've pointed Cheryl out. I've said I want you to tell me something for the future. I've made her focus. Okay, when she came on, she was all nervous. She was concentrating on her dogs and she was everywhere because she thought she'd done something wrong. But what I then did was I said, hey, concentrate and listen to the information world talking to you. So then she stopped and she listened. And then she came out with the information. You see it, everybody? Can you all see it? And what it was because she was drawing her attention, she was focusing on information coming in externally of herself. Now, what is crazy is that situation is happening all the time to a human being. Because as human beings, we are our own little aerial, our own little radio system receiving information all the time. So what happens is the thing what stops that from happening is life. Okay, so I want to show you this. When Cheryl came on, when she unmuted, she was concerned about a dog. She was concerned about her hair in her face. She was concerned about me telling her off. She had all those human things going on, which took her away from listening to the world around her. Can you all see that? Yeah? You all get me, don't you? It took her away, human elements took her away from listening to the world around her. So, if we had a world that wasn't as filled with information and physical activity and problems and TV and cars and houses and financial situations, all those situations were gone. Okay, we would then be more open to the information world that surrounds us, advises us, and tells us our future. That sounds mad, doesn't it? So, years and years ago, before we had all this rubbish in our lives, you know, when we were ploughing the field and Jackie Saunders in a former life was scrubbing cloth with 2 stones and Jill Shields was collecting water from a stream, everything was simpler. So information from the information giving world, the energy world around us, was clearer, you know. So when a village further on was going to attack our village for our food storage, the information giving world would tell us and warn us, and we could receive that information because we didn't have loads of rubbish. It's a bit mad. Okay, so I need you to remember that. Okay, when you're doing this, the first thing to note, the first thing to highlight in your world is that our world, as it ticks today, is giving us information all the time. Okay, and if we are asking for that information for a certain person and we state it's for the future, our brain will receive information only for the future because we're sending a subliminal message out to the information giving world. So, Jane England, let's unmute you. Hello, Jane.
Hiya.
Hi, a very warm welcome to you, Jane.
Hello. Hiya.
Hi. So we're talking, Jane. You're all right? Yeah, everything's good around you. Good. Okay. So, Jane, I just want you to consider, think of the future, and tell me the first things that come into your head for the future.
I feel as though someone's going to come back into my life that I haven't seen for ages.
Wow.
They're all the first things that came into my head.
Right. Perfect. Okay. I want you to stop there. Let's just see if we can get Mr. Wilson to come back up, or Andrea. Anybody? Andrea or Barry? Just so you know, so you get this, everybody. I need you to get it and believe it, because the other element to this is believing. Okay? The other element is believing. Andrea or Barry? Can I just say, I have just done my last seating for somebody in
America.
Can they hear you? America?
Can I be heard?
Yes, can
America?
you all hear him? Put your thumbs up if you can. America. When I came downstairs, we have lost contact with somebody in
America.
and the lady who I've just spoke to knows that person
Yes.
and has asked that she's going to.
Contact them.
And how long is it since I've heard from that lady?
Well, probably 6 years.
Do you get it, Jane? Do you all see it? Can you hear it? Did you hear him? Yeah? Jill Shields, do you want to unmute? You've got a question.
Sorry, David, I didn't quite hear what Jane said for the future. Could you just repeat what she said?
She said that she's got this feeling that somebody is coming back into the life who as they've lost contact years ago with.
Wow.
Okay. So
Thank
I
you.
asked her to think of something in the future. And I've just recently done a sitting, just this evening, the last person, yeah?
The very last person, yeah.
Yeah. And that person knows a mutual friend who we've not seen for
Well, we've physically not seen her for over 10 years.
over 10 years.
Yeah, but she hasn't been in touch for at least 6, I think it is.
There you go. Do you get it? Can you get where the information, it seems weird, doesn't it, everybody? But what has gone on is thanks Barry, I have focused and asked Jane to give me the first thing about the future. So what's going on is Jane subliminally has just took that on. So two things have happened there. The first thing is my pointing it out to Jane that I want her to say the first thing for the future has allowed her brain and the information giving world to only give things for the future, just at that moment. Okay. The other situation is that Jane was focused to do that. Cheryl focused after I pointed out to her, but that was only because she had no idea of what I was going to say or what I was going to ask. You see, the second reason why I talk about doing this in the way I've just done it and ask Barry to prove what I've just said, okay, is the second part is totally believing and totally trusting the information you're given from exterior from you. Okay, and that is as much as important. I post that as important as much as receiving it, because if you're not prepared to believe what you're given, then you're not going to be able to tell the future. Okay, is everybody up to speed with me? You all see it. I've put it plainly for you. Can everybody see that? Has anybody any questions thus far before we continue? Yeah, Susan.
Sorry. Hi, David. Just a quick question, though. You said about you don't say anything negative.
Yeah.
What extent would you go to with that then? So if somebody said, I can see a hospital appointment coming along, would that
That's
be...
not negative. That can be positive, can't it? Because it's a
You
cure.
can still use that. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so I wouldn't give anything that I thought would cause a worry.
But could that cause a worry, though?
No, because usually when you're given information like that, you automatically instinctively know if it's a positive or a negative.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
So
Yeah.
if you've got an appointment for a hip replacement coming up, okay, it can only be positive because it's removing the pain of the problem.
Okay.
If something's going to go wrong, you'll be coupled with that information, and you just wouldn't give the information because it's negative.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Get an idea. Anybody else any questions there with that? Please put your hand up. No. So, as you can see, and as I've proved to you there, this world which beats around us is all about giving us information. Now, one of the things which is important is mindfulness and focus. Okay, and for those who already have done spirituality, mindfulness and focus is massive. Okay, now you might say, well, how does that marry up with reading crystals? Because crystals give off energy of their own. We'll go into that in a minute. But for you to be able to collect adequate amounts of information from the information giving world and collect that in a kind of a very kind of methodical way, okay, and a very real way, and also a way in which that there's not your personal information bleeding in. You've got to be able to have a certain amount of mindfulness, a will, a focus. Okay, so how many people here, you're all going to be honest now, how many people as you're sat here in front of me find it hard to concentrate? Put your hand up, be truthful. Okay, yeah, okay, so that means that you have a lack of mindfulness. Okay, mindfulness usually represents itself when we are still. Sarah Mott, she's a very stilled girl. She's a very still person. She may not think it, but you look at her. Okay, Jackie as well, Jackie Ruth, you're a very still person. Some people move a lot. Okay, and that's because the mindfulness is not in place. Mindfulness is a massive key to this because mindfulness helps us be able to focus and receive information. Okay, just remember that. Mindfulness helps us focus and receive information. All right, and that's so important that I say that. Now, what I will say to you is when we have a difficult time with mindfulness, there is a saying that we have, we describe it as something. Can anybody tell me what that is? Can anybody think what that could be? When we have a difficult time with mindfulness, when we have a difficult time with focusing, can anybody tell me what they think that's called? Georgie Morris.
That's it. Monkey mind.
Correct. Well done. Well done. And monkey mind is when we have lots of information coming in, all right, but not information just for a specific direction, i.e. the future for ourselves or anyone else. It's information coming in about anything. I've left the oven on, lights turned on, dash hounds at the side of me. Oh, I've got an itch, shall I scratch? Oh, ouch, dying to go to the toilet.